So, when we do our lives,
Yeah.
apart from are you two a couple, what is the most popular topic of conversations that we get?
It's going to be one of two things.
Yes.
Either
Yes.
any tips for my driving test.
Yes.
Or how can I manage my nerves on test day?
And kind of the second question is kind of related to the first question.
Exactly.
Nerves,
yeah.
nerves, nerves,
Yeah.
nerves, nerves. So what we have done for our lovely subscribers, that's you lot, is we had a little brainstorm earlier, and we've come up with about 20-ish points. I haven't counted them all actually. 20 points that in our experience has really helped. So we're going to go no particular logical order. What we might do, if it is a particular order, we might just edit them into sort of sections after this. But we're going to talk one at a time. Hopefully you can keep together with it. It's a big topic.
It's huge, yeah. There's so much to discuss on it.
Now the thing is, the pass rate at Kettering, for instance, about 45%.
Yeah.
Now, do you really think that only half... Okay, let's say 10% of people shouldn't have turned up to test. They're clearly chancing their arm, not with mum and dad, don't know what good is, or an instructor, give it a go sort of thing. Let's assume it's just 10%. So 90% of people that turn up should be in a standard, they can drive safely, confidently, drive independently, though therefore pass a driving test, not just pass a test, but therefore pass a driving test, and yet half the people aren't doing it.
Oh, more than half, yeah.
Or more than half. It's nerves.
Yeah.
You're not delivering it on there. So let's go through the. You fire away.
So, number one, we have said, make sure that you have prepared thoroughly. So if there's any areas that you feel most nervous about, make sure that you've gone over them and practiced them a few times. So like in Kettering, I'd say sometimes, just off the top of my head, for example, Stringer's Hill. If someone is extremely nervous that sometimes they can't quite get that right, make sure you've gone through that particular junction a few times, give yourself the confidence.
What's your thoughts about practicing it on literally the hour before your driving test?
No, because if it goes wrong, then you're going into test with even more nerves than probably when you started. Yeah.
Now, with that, it's really important. I reckon half the people on the hour before, if they're driving, and again, it's up to you how much you want to drive. Some people want to drive all the way over all the time. Some people just want to sort of jump it, do a little bit of driving once we got there, warm themselves up. Some people just like, oh, I'll jump in the saddle just before. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's up to you to have a think about it. Now, are those people, I reckon half the people will do something that is deemed as a serious fault if it's on test. However, there's don't worry, there's absolutely no correlation between that drive before. In some ways, get it out. So you're going to drive badly, get it out of your system.
I've had so many times. I've had people on the way to the test centre where we've had to pull up and have a discussion about something that's happened because they've just made a serious mistake, but then they go on and pass their test.
Absolutely. And I'm going to jump to one here. So therefore, you wouldn't be going to test if you're not driving to a safe, confident standard. Well, you shouldn't be going to test unless, and you're not finding out on test day if you can drive. You've decided that between yourself, your instructor, your parents, or whoever's involved in the process. It's like,
you just need to present it.
Would I sit in the back seat and say, read a book and say, drive me someone, follow that sat nav and drive me somewhere? Would I be sitting there? Would I be going, oh my god?
Yeah.
Basically, he's the person I'm taking the test. Are they like a really good taxi driver? The answer is yes. Go to test. That's all rhymes. So that's how I jumped ahead of that one, just what tied in there. The next one then, shall I do it?
Yeah.
Take a mock test.
Yeah.
Or two. Again.
I'd say do more than one.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Get used to the process. Now, we're not doing a mock test. We're not doing a mock test to discover, I wonder if so-and-so can drive. I wonder, because I'm only a driving instructor. I don't know this. I'm going to do a mock test to find out.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You're doing it to get used to the process, and it's really how long the drive feels like.
Exactly. Because a lot of the fear is the unknown. So if you go in and you've already run through the motions of a test, you know exactly what's going to be asked of you. Yeah,
and run it through all the way. If you're going to do a mock test, do it all the way from open the door and saying, hello, I'm looking for Rebecca. Can I see your license, please? Know what the spiel is. You can go online and find all this information because there's a driving instructor site that says how to give mock tests for your pupils. So why not go on and have a look yourself? It's not really
and see how they're marking as well, which really helps.
Exactly. Right, this one. So some of these are mental skills. Some of these are physical skills. The next one's a physical skill. What is it?
Avoid caffeine or sugar.
Yeah.
So too much caffeine, too much sugary snacks.
That's just a life tip, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It will heighten your anxiety.
It does. What it does, caffeine in particular, heightens what's actually called your sympathetic nervous system. That's your fight or flight response. It just puts you on edge.
Yeah, it's like that jittery, like, oh.
That's right. And it's very easy. You don't sleep the night before and you get up, have a coffee. And I think with that as well, I'm going to put another point that's not in here. I've just thought of one. I know tests are really rare, but choose the time that suits you. Not because, is it busy, is it rush hour, is it not?
Yeah.
Me, I'm awful if I do an afternoon test. I have too much time to think about it. I would get up and do the earliest test.
Like you say, I just think at this point in time that people are going to grab whatever comes up, aren't they?
If there is the option.
There's the option, yeah.
So, next one. Again, this is out of order. It doesn't matter. Talk to your examiner.
Yes.
What's their job? Their job is they've never met you before. I've sat in here. They've got a very responsible job. They're putting someone on the road with a ton of metal under their control. They just want to see, can you drive safely and confidently?
Remember, they're human. They are friendly.
And if they get it wrong, they could be killing someone.
Yeah.
By proxy, by putting someone on the road. So it's very responsible. They're very highly trained. No one marks any differently to anyone else. They might have a slightly different bedside manner, but at the end of the day, they're continuously trained, aren't they, to make sure everyone's marking in the same way.
Yeah.
So you might find you have a driving examiner come out, a test manager come out in the back of you as well.
Yeah.
Which you can't refuse.
No.
So as
taking an extra passenger with you.
Yeah, exactly. So talk to the examiner. They'll talk to you how if you're one of these people who just wants to want to concentrate and do a commentary driving, they'll be quiet.
They'll be fine.
If you want to go, they're just trying to find a way of you relaxing. Just wanted to show your skills, and we know a lot of the driving ex-examiners, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we've really got the inside story of what happens. And trust me, they just generally want you to present your skills to your best of your ability. If it's good enough,
fail.
Yeah. And the funniest one you get is when someone passes. I passed my driving test. If you fail, the examiner failed, mate. No, the examiner doesn't pass. The examiner doesn't fail. You pass or you fail, remember. So if it doesn't work out on the day, it just didn't work out on the day.
Doesn't matter.
Now, this is an important one. Listen carefully to instructions.
Yeah, because the examiner may also give you some suggestions.
Additional information.
Yeah, additional information that you must listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they said something, it's been said for a reason. Okay, once you get over the, what would you be say if you weren't on your tests or doing A levels? What A levels are you doing? That you chit chat. You can identify chit chat, but if they said, I suggest that you take the right lane.
Yeah.
There's a very good because the thing is, if some junctions are just badly marked, or the sat nav gives that wonky information.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so especially if it says like turn right and it's not a turn, they'll say this isn't a turn.
It's not a trick.
Yeah.
So if there's not enough information for you to make a good decision based on what's there, they'll give you additional information to supplement it to make it fair.
And they're not trying to trick you. Exactly, they are there to help.
Now this is an interesting one. Bring a lucky charm.
Yeah, some people have things that make them feel
on the desk.
Yeah.
It's a bit mind over matter. Why not?
Put your lucky pants on.
You could put your lucky pants on. Take breaks during the test if allowed. It is allowed. You can take a break. If you're feeling really anxious, go and say, do you mind if I pull over?
Take some water with you. Have a sip of water when you pull up on the left.
And there. So, which goes on to stay hydrated. If you're dehydrated, it's very easy if you're getting stressed. If you're dehydrated, you feel thirsty, you're already on the process of being... If in fact you're dehydrated, your reaction time is down to like someone's had a couple of pints of beer. How are you going to perform that?
Have water before, during and after.
Okay, this is a good one. You do the next one.
Okay, so we're going to break the test down into steps. Taking each junction as it comes. Yeah, absolutely,
one junction at a time. Now, if you want to put your driving test into chapters, you'll be pulling in and moving off 5 times. Why not use the opportunity, or when you've pulled in, take stock again. End of part 1.
Yeah.
Go on to the next one there. But what is very easy to do, you kind of know when your driving test is finishing because you kind of know you're heading back to the test centre. Do you remember that game you used to get in the fairground or something like that, where it's like a metal loop and you have you go like this,
and when you get towards the end,
be like Operation.
Yeah.
Now you've got to keep steady all the way to the end, not rush the end. Now some people get anxious and go nearly there, or make a dash.
But how many people fail in the last 5 minutes?
I know, thinking make a dash for safety. Don't. The test will. The end will come to you. Don't try and rush to the end of it. It will happen.
Also, on the back of that, don't don't ever mark your own driving test.
No, absolutely not.
Don't think that you failed and go, oh, whatever.
No, because so many times people think they failed.
And they haven't. Yeah.
Don't. You've just paid £62. Don't do their job. They're being expertly trained. You pay £62. Don't be the examiner. Don't buy a dog and woof. You know, that's what like one. Don't.
Yeah, if you've made a slight mistake, just move on.
And even if you've made a mistake, you're going to be coming back again. Take it as an experience and opportunity to have your driving assessed by an independent person or drive an independent person around as well. Take it for what it is. Keep a balanced mindset.
Yeah. If you don't pass, you don't pass.
It's just a learning experience. Now, sometimes just treat it as well as a really useful mock test. I'll come back next time and do the real thing.
It's all experience, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not Squid Game.
Yeah. Squid Game.
You know that game, No one's putting guns to their head and go, if you fail, bang. Take it for what it is.
Yeah.
It feels like the end of the world to you, but if you're going to be driving for 50 years, what's an extra few weeks?
I think more so just because you need to get hold of another driving test. That's the biggest stress at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's just like... this is an interesting one. Keep your hands relaxed on the wheel. Avoid gripping the wheel too tightly. It can make you tense. Yes, it can. Be aware that is what nerves is doing to you. And the problem is, if you grip it tightly like that, guess what happens is, it's not so much you gripping it, your arm's locked up, my biceps have locked up, my shoulders have locked up, my neck's locked up. I'm now not looking around.
Yeah, and a way to relax, which I think is on here somewhere, is the breathing exercises.
Absolutely.
Yeah, keep yourself relaxed by practicing breathing techniques.
And there's all sorts of things that comes. Just Google breathing techniques. Essentially, what you're doing.
Practice a few and find what works for you.
Yeah. A bit of mindfulness beforehand. Don't rush into the waiting room. Sit outside. Use your techniques that you practice to relax.
Yeah.
Essentially, what you're doing there, you're activating what's called your if you get technical about it. Your sympathetic nervous system's fight or flight, and what's your body do? It fills you with adrenaline, so your heartbeat builds up for a fight, it builds up breathing, and your brain makes a false alarm. You're not fighting a tiger, you're just going out for a drive, and your body thinks it is. So what you can do is physically learn breathing techniques where you're physically breathing slower, concentrating, breathing out, and your body will go, false alarm, and it'll relax a lot more. Nothing
to survive here. I'm just driving.
I think the other thing to add in is, if you weren't nervous, I would be nervous.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I always say that to the students. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm like, good. Yeah, if you told me you wasn't nervous, I'd be thinking, oh gosh.
You're nervous because you care about the outcome.
Yeah.
If you didn't care, you had a driving licence, you wouldn't be nervous. You go, whatever.
Exactly. You need that bit of nerves.
Yes. But
don't let it take over.
It tips over into anxiety if it becomes too much, becomes too overwhelming. And that's what we're trying to keep there. So keep positive. Self-talk.
Positive self-talk. Positive affirmations.
Why are you here today at your test centre?
Because we want to pass. We're going to drive well.
Yeah. I mean, we statistics are kept on their driving tests. Why would I bring someone to test who's going to fail?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've got my name on the side of the car. Why do I want it's...
Yeah. So tell yourself, you're going to stay safe, you're going to drive confidently, and
bit of manifestation. Visualize success.
Visualize success, and it will come to you.
What's it look like? Visualize success. You know what you do. You know what good looks like. This is a good one. This is easier said than done. Get plenty of rest. Get a good night's sleep the night before.
If you're worrying, it's easier said than done. But don't have a late night. But also as well, on top of that, I would say make sure that you get up in the morning and give yourself time to eat and maybe even go for a walk or something. But don't just get up in a rush. And not eat, and
What do you think about have a banana? Again, I think it's almost a little bit like bring a lucky charm.
It is really, isn't it? Maybe it is a placebo, but it's worth a shot.
Bananas are high in potassium. And I can't remember the hormone. It was a tetrathine or something like that, and it is a happy hormone. It can relax you. You hear lots of things like take calms, take powers. I'm certainly not going to advocate doing things like that. The thing is as well, if you're doing that, if you get nervous, you're going to be shoveling bananas every time you go driving, something like that. Or I don't know about that, but if it works, I mean, there is a chemical in there which does help. So
and then again, eaten as well, so that's good.
What harm can it do?
Yeah.
The banana, anyway.
The banana,
not the other ones. Familiarise yourself with test streets. What do you think about that?
I do think that when you're going to test, because your nerves are heightened, it is better if you are familiar with some of the roads.
I would say learn test areas.
Yes, not routes.
Test routes. If you learn the route, you're not going to learn them all.
No.
And secondly, are you only driving because you can drive a... Brilliant. So if you know that this roundabout leads onto here and this, here comes this junction.
Yeah.
You want a little bit of local knowledge to counter set. Remember, you're not going to test. Well, you shouldn't be going to test unless you know you can drive. You're going to feel nervous. You're going to tip you that way. We need a couple of little tricks to tip us, put a balance back in our favour, which is get familiar. And it's a bit like I play the piano, don't I? If I went to do my grade 8 or something like that, would you expect my practice pieces to be better than my sight reading? Yeah. I expect my sight reading to recognise what the song is, but it might not be as good as my sight reading. Might not have the right crescendos. It might not have the right emphasis on the note, but you'd still recognise the tune. And that's what it's. If you know the areas, it's a bit like a practice piece of music rather than a thing. But you should, at the end of the day, you should be able to drive anywhere sight reading.
Safe,
so that's my analogy on that one there.
Stay positive. We've already touched on that, really, haven't we? Don't rush.
That's an easy one. With nerves, it's that fight or flight. People rush into things, and I think a good way to do that is to actually, if you are feeling nervous, to sort of actually do things at half the speed you think.
But this is where commentary driving comes in as well, because then you can only go as fast as what you're saying.
And I've literally had people go to test, go mirror, signal, position, off the gas, slow it down. Is it okay if I do that?
Works.
Of course it is.
Absolutely.
The examiner recognises it. The reason we do commentary driving is if you rush, everything gets compacted up, and mirrors and signal all happens together. No, you can't say mirrors, signal, position together.
You're only going to go as fast as what you're saying.
Exactly. So what you're doing, you're bypassing your subconscious. And whoever shouts the loudest, your conscious, your commentary drive, or your subconscious going, oh my God, I'm terrified, controls your feet and your hands. So you have to make sure that your conscious, if it has to go that way, is shouting louder than your subconscious is going, do something, press a button, freeze. So that's
slam on the brake.
So that ties that. We talked about relaxation techniques for breathing, and on that, don't go to the test centre early. Firstly, you annoy people. Anyway. Even if at catering you're allowed in 10 minutes before. Would you go into the waiting room and have 10 minutes in the waiting room?
Just sitting there like twiddling your thumbs and
And it's all full of nervous people making small talk, and it's like a contagion.
The room as well isn't really like. It's not exactly enjoyable, is it? I mean, it's silent.
It's not like a nice cocktail lounge, is it? No. It's hard chairs, bad decor.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you enjoy sitting in a really bad doctor's waiting room, that's the place to go.
Yeah, you want to be pulling in, parking up, going in, a couple of minutes, going out on test. Yeah.
And they're not paid that much, driving examiners, for what they do. So believe me, they're not coming out early.
Yeah.
They will come out 11 minutes past 11, not a minute early. So even if you get there about 5 seconds, and even if you are a couple of minutes late, if you turn up and you're late, don't worry. You've got like 7-8 minutes, haven't you, of grace period before you go out there.
Focus on the road and remember it's okay not to make mistakes.
Focus on your drive. You're allowed to make 15.
Remember, it's not a test to see that if you're perfect. It's a test to see if you are safe to carry on learning out on your own, where you will still make mistakes.
Have you reached a minimum standard that DVSA reckon that you'll be okay to carry on? Can you now drive unsupervised?
Exactly.
If you took up a sport, or me and my piano, you're an expert, a pro after 10,000 hours. That's recognised now to be a star golfer or a tennis player. 10,000 hours of practice. Well, you certainly haven't done anywhere near that. What they expecting? But they just want you to be safe.
To be safe. That's it.
And
they're not expecting a full mistake-free, perfect drive.
So that's most of it.
Yeah.
If you've got any others, this is a video with comments on it. If you've got any other suggestions or what has worked in the past, not even this, maybe for your GCSEs or your A levels or whatever it is. Pop them down. Have we missed anything? We're just two humble people from our own experiences batting down what we just had a little brainstorm. We may have missed something, but we
hope it helps nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope this helps. Good luck with everything. Don't need luck, you know what I mean. And
thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Okay.